but it's crazy. I don't know if y'all saw the clip going around, but there's actually a place in Miami called Bacon Bitch. Oh. And the servers...
Somebody took their baby?
The servers come to you and say, what would you like, bitch? Would you like this, bitch? And there was a video, of course, men had to ruin it. And this man sat down recording himself, bitch, get me a drink. Bitch. And it was just like so, ugh. And I'm just like, let us have something. Goddamn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's tough because we've normalized that type of speech and that type of shit and that type of tone amongst ourselves. So it's kind of hard to ask men not to move the same way. As women, we have to take, and y'all, some of y'all are gonna hate me for this, and I don't care. We have to take responsibility for the tone that we set amongst ourselves and understand that oftentimes we set the tone for men to disrespect us.
Facts on facts.
So I mean, I'm saying that openly and honestly because I think a lot of, I don't know. I don't
know
if I fully agree.
To femininity and being that open with your sexuality. Like, there's gonna be people that's gonna be like, well, you a whole asshole. Like, that's it.
Well, I mean, and here's the thing. I don't. At the end of the day, people's opinions are going to be people's opinions. I think the age of the internet has allowed people who very clearly, based on how they speak to you on social media, have never been punched in the face, feel comfortable saying certain shit to you, right? Like people comment on things all the time on Twitter and on Instagram, and I read the comments and I'm like, yo, this is a person that would never have the audacity to say this to my face.
Ever.
If you saw me at Trader Joe's, bitch, you would never talk to me like that. You would never.
I mean, it's weird. I don't even know if it's still just like the sticks and stones thing, but a lot of people do feel like they can say what they want to say and can't get handled physically. And then if you're the person who handles it physically, you wrong because it's just words. But nah, like, I mean, we in an era where words mean a whole lot. I mean, shit, we've been getting it, honestly, the last couple weeks since our announcement. I mean, I guess it's something to even say, too. I mean, let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room. A lot of people.
Which one?
I mean, there's a lot of elephants, honestly. I mean, we've been handled by. You know what I mean? We've had a lot of people come at us, not only other women in this space, but a lot of people questioning the fact that we aligned ourselves with Joe. And like I said, we joked about him landing in the tabloids before this, but a lot of people questioned how we could align ourselves with a man that does these things. But it's also, I mean, we talked about the toxicity that women give us. And I'll be honest, too, and I just want to come out here and say this up front. When I announced this podcast, I did reach out to women in the space that I felt like I should listen to. Yeah. And I was like, listen, because they're all like, oh my God, that's who you want to partner with? Like, do you see what they're saying about him? And I'll be honest with you, I asked probably 3 to 4, maybe 5 total women who are a part of the Me Too movement, women who are in the sex positive space, women who are in the space of moving women forward. And when I asked them, well, how do I move about in this industry with this? Because also on my other podcast, we had a lot of guests on who were accused of assault. And their response to me was to limit my interaction with men in general. They were like, well, just don't have as many male guests anymore. Well, find a way to just maybe work with only women. And I don't think that is a real solution.
Well, it's problematic. It's problematic on a number of levels. Number one, because you're not actually addressing any of the problems that come with working with men. It's like, why is that always the suggestion to women that we just have to avoid and evade
men.
You know what I mean? Duck and dodge. I'm not playing social dodgeball for the sake of trying to accomplish what the fuck I need to accomplish.
Right.
That's trash. And it's not my personality. It's not any of our personalities.
No, absolutely.
And I think for us as women, I think the responsibility that falls on us is to carry ourselves with integrity. Who we choose to partner ourselves with in business is our business, number one. Number two, we are existing in an era and in a culture that likes to cancel people for 5 minutes. So let's just let those fucking weak people have their 5 minutes of canceling people and then find their way right back into the audience, because that's what everybody has been doing with men in particular this entire time.
Speak the truth.
So I'm at the end of the day, I think there's only but so much we can address about someone else's business, about someone else's personal affairs. That's their burden to bear.
Right. But outside of that, we have to be able to have these conversations and get men to learn because clearly men ain't checking men. Right. So this is a space where we need... Well, that's also
because I think most men are guilty of
the same things.
Of the same things. And
agreed.
That's why so many are so quiet.
Oh.
Right. But it also goes to the whole thing of, protect black men, protect black women, protect whoever. How do you go and cancel somebody and then expect them to grow if you feel like they've done wrong?
Right.
How do you build community if you feel like you got to cancel every single last person that has ever done wrong in their life?
Well, that's also why I say it lasts for 5 minutes, because everybody will complain about and call Joe Budden an abuser and call him whatever they want to call him until he produces a podcast
and then
of women.
You're like, right,
we didn't get an episode. Where the pod at, yo? We need a new episode.
All of that is going to last for 5 minutes. Everyone is responsible and accountable for their actions and their behaviors. It's on them to take responsibility for that. As women, that's not our job.
Right.
It's not my job to take responsibility for any man, ever. I can only take responsibility for myself and for the women that are in this room with me, because that's who I'm on the podcast with.
No, I agree.
So,
and also the fact that, if we really gonna be frank about it, I've had a lot of women that haven't put me in the rooms that men have. I have a lot of women that when I decided to move forward, instead of being like, sis, I see you, they went to their friends to talk shit. Even with the drop of my box, a girl mistakenly sent me a DM meant for someone else and was like, she must be smoking dick. They better have quality prices. And it was literally another woman just talking shit about me. A woman as a black woman owning a business and starting something myself. Those also be the same women, and we don't have to get into the insecurities and where all of that aligns with. But that's what it is. It's like, okay, you're telling me not to align myself with men, but in reality, women, we still haven't all aligned as one either. With the fake feminism things, the women empowerment brunches. Like, let's be real. Let's be real.
It ain't gonna happen. We did say that. The unification was only in our Canadian tuxedos and promos.
We are out the denim, y'all. We are out the denim, and I promise y'all, Joe did not dress us for that.
It was not Joe's idea. No, I think I agree with you. I think a lot of what's happening and what we're seeing, which is it's disheartening for me as a woman, because I think we never had a lot of us didn't have mentors. Nobody gave us the blueprint and the formula on how to approach the industry as women, on how to handle ourselves in the industry as women. But also, once we enter the industry, whether we have experience or not, there's no women around that are going to protect us. Everything is very individualistic and it's trash.
Very much so. And your competition. That's the thing with women too.
Unless in a clique.
We literally...
And even in the clique is competition.
There's still competition. And so that's the thing with a lot of women too. Like, you're not looking to advance someone because you see them as someone that could take from you when really there's enough to go around. Right. But we automatically have this when it comes to relationships, business, everything. When it comes to women is a competition.
Yeah. I'm not competing with y'all.
Competition is nada.
I'm not competing with y'all.